Here is a teaser of season 3 and our thoughts on season 2. This feels like it's surprising to me that we've only been doing this for a year. It has been a very big year in both of our lives.
Yeah.
But these are also conversations we've had for the entirety of our friendship, which is now reaching 11 years long. And I can't think of a better conversation partner to have along the way than you, Hunter.
Neither can I.
Even though I think if I chose a different conversation partner, the podcast would be about half the length. And probably the same for you if you chose a different conversation partner.
Yeah.
We're both short-winded.
Yeah, I think
so I'm trying to say.
It might be it might be more comfortable in some ways, but it wouldn't be as interesting and it wouldn't be as enriching, I think, because we are so different in so many ways, and yet we have almost the exact same values. And we arrive at very close opinions and consensus on something from totally different directions.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I wonder if that comes through in our episodes. I hope it does, but
I hope so.
I mean, we don't really connect with people that don't already know us, or at least one of us.
Yeah.
So the views are already a little bit distorted there.
We're over 1,000 at this point, so total views.
That's awesome.
Whatever that means, but not nothing.
Yeah, it would take me a while to count to 1,000, so there's that.
I mean, not as long as it would take Hamilton to write 1,000 words, though.
That is true.
Totally meaningless comparison.
So I could say it faster than he would write 1,000 words.
I don't know.
Longer than yeah. So you're saying I could count to 1,000 faster than Hamilton could write 1,000 words?
Maybe. I don't know.
We will never find that out. And I think that's okay. I don't think that's a question that's banking at people's minds. Hunter, is there anything that you want to share in closure of this second season of our podcast or in expectation for the third season?
I just want to thank people for listening. I know the episodes are long. And that's partly because I think Eric and I aren't really interested in paring them down. And I also I want it to be unfiltered. There's definitely filtering that I do. The versions of us that you hear are quicker. We think quicker and we say less ums and ahs and we misspeak a little less than we do live. But for the most part, I try to keep our sort of circuitous and looping reasonings, and however we get to our conclusions, I try to keep those authentic, which I hope makes it. It's important to me to have integrity in that way. Give us feedback. I don't listen to podcasts, so I don't know what people want. If you tell us what you want, I may or may not listen, but honestly, just anything you have. I'm on hdanson at mastodon.social and at hdanson on Twitter. I don't check them that often, but I'll check them eventually. So for the third season, Eric and I want to do. We love doing books, and I want to do more books. The hard thing with books is that it's a lot of prep, especially if it's a long book. So I came up with the idea of doing sort of like a monthly book club where we can read a book, do like 100 or so pages per month, and have one of our episodes each month just be that section of the book. So listeners can read along with us and listen to the episodes, and it'll let Eric and I not sort of rush through books, because I feel like we're always kind of breathless with books. And I love reading. I love it's my preferred medium, honestly.
I love being forced to read because it is also my preferred medium, but it's not something I go to regularly, or probably pretty regularly, but not as regularly as others.
Yeah. So we are planning to do East of Eden by John Steinbeck, which I've read a while ago, but I breezed. I devoured it pretty quickly, so I'm happy to take it a little slower, and if I can get other people to read it. I love Steinbeck. Like Hamilton, he is also full of contradictions, but East of Eden is really a great ride, and I'm excited to get into it. And we have other stuff that will be planned between then.
Yes, there's a few things I'm excited about for our next season. I would also be interested if anybody has their thoughts on our grab bag episode. That was one that I know I really enjoyed, but I don't know how well it came across in the recording.
I had some good reviews from family. Said they enjoyed it.
Okay, but I'd love to hear those thoughts, as well as thank you to everybody who's messaged me, telling me that God's not dead. I see you. I hear you. God's not dead. And if you do this East of Eden reading with us, please let us know. We have really enjoyed our episodes when we've had guests on. And so I'm sure if there are any individuals that are reading through East of Eden with us, I'd love to find a way to invite you on. Even if it's for part of one of the episodes, we could find a time that could work, to get some of your thoughts, and to get more voices in this conversation. And thank you, listeners.
Yeah,
this might be a selfish way to thank you, but I don't think Hunter and I would be having these conversations if it weren't for you, for the third person in our chat that is unnamed and unknown. But you give us a space and a reason to gather together to read things that are challenging and enjoyable and unenjoyable to both of us at different times, and to think through not about whether they're good or not, but how they've shaped us. And that's something that I think is really valuable, especially in a world where there are so many things to consume. Taking time to reflect on them with another person is an invaluable opportunity.
Yeah. I think I can end with a quote from Hamilton, from Al Ham himself. Strangely enough, it was August 13th, 1762, which is pretty close. It's August 15th for us. But he wrote, "I have thought it my duty to exhibit things as they are, not as they ought to be." If you don't like your name, you can just change it. If you don't like your job, you can just leave it. 'Cause if you don't like your life, you don't have to believe it.
me down.